I'm happy to be here and share our experience with you today. I come from Pirnar, a Slovenian company with more than 50 years of tradition in designing and manufacturing premium entrance doors. Over the years, Pirnar has become internationally recognized for its focus on innovation, design, and high-quality entrance solutions. And today, our products are present in more than 30 markets worldwide. We currently employ more than 450 people and place a strong emphasis on in-house development, advanced technologies, and craftsmanship. Besides our operations in Slovenia, an important part of our production also takes place in Bosnia and Herzegovina. As a company operating in two countries and managing a growing workforce, efficient and transparent HR processes are extremely important to us. Before implementing our new HR system, most of our HR records and processes were managed in Excel files and other manual tools. While this approach worked for a long time, it became increasingly difficult to maintain consistency, transparency, and efficiency as the company continued to grow. And like many growing companies, we started facing some challenges. Before the new system was introduced, employee data was often scattered and inconsistent. Information was stored in several different places, which meant we sometimes had duplicate or outdated records. Because of that, there wasn't a single reliable source for important data like the organizational structure, job positions, or internal changes. HR documents and contracts were also stored in different locations, so version control could easily become confusing. As a result, HR teams spent a lot of time on manual administration and document preparation, which naturally increased the risk of errors. Supporting employee development was also more difficult than it needed to be. Recruitment processes were still partly manual and not well connected to internal job opportunities. When new employees joined the company, onboarding wasn't standardized, so they often had to rely heavily on mentors or informal instructions just to understand how things worked. At the same time, performance reviews weren't digitalized, which made it harder to track results consistently or use that information for long-term development planning. Day-to-day operational processes were also slower than they should have been. Leave management, for example, was handled manually and needed reports. HR had to gather data from multiple different sources. This made reporting both time-consuming and inefficient. On top of that, there were important concerns related to data security and compliance. Access to personal employee information wasn't centralized or easy to trace, and transferring data between systems wasn't automated. All of this created additional workload for HR, reduced transparency, and ultimately had a negative impact on the overall employee experience across our locations. Maybe some of you have experienced similar challenges in your organizations, and that's exactly why we decided to implement FledgeWorks. We went from managing fragmented tools and manual processes to running a fully digital connected ecosystem that covers the entire employee lifecycle. Now employees and managers access everything through a single centralized platform with Microsoft single sign-on, making it faster, safer, and absolutely far more user-friendly. All HR services are in one place, so finding information or completing tasks is no longer a guessing game. HR operations have become much smoother and more efficient overall. Instead of information being scattered across different systems, we now have a centralized employee database that keeps everyone, HR, managers, and finance, on the same page with up-to-date information. Because of that, things like contracts and HR documents can be generated automatically, which saves a lot of preparation time and almost completely removes the risk of errors. At the same time, HR requests and GDPR-related processes are now standardized, easy to track, and properly archived. Another big improvement is transparency. Now, all the key information, organizational charts, job roles, company information, and HR documentation is available in one place. This makes it much easier for managers to understand who does what in the organization, how reporting lines work, and what everyone's responsibilities are. Talent management has also become much more organized. Recruitment is now fully digital and directly connected to our internal career page, which makes the whole process easier to manage. When employees join, they go through a standardized onboarding process that helps them settle in more quickly. On top of that, annual performance reviews are now handled digitally, and which makes them more consistent and easier to track. This gives us much clearer insights when it comes to employee development, career planning, and reward decisions. Day-to-day operational processes are also more efficient than before. For example, leave entitlements are calculated automatically, company assets are fully traceable, and management reports can be generated in real time. This gives leaders the information they need much faster and helps them make better decisions. And finally, data security and compliance have improved as well. Our document center now provides structured and secure access to internal documentation, making it easier to manage information while keeping it protected. In short, FledgeWorks hasn't just digitized HR, it's made it smarter, faster, and more transparent, improving the experience for everyone in the company. I'd also like to highlight the strong support we received from the FledgeWorks team throughout the implementation. They were always available whenever we needed guidance or some clarification, and the collaboration was very structured. Regular project meetings during the implementations kept us aligned and allowed us to move forward step by step. Even after the system went live, the collaboration continues. We are kept up to date on new features, updates, and system improvements, which helps us keep refining and developing our HR processes. Another important aspect is the system's flexibility. Adjustments and improvements can be made based on user feedback and our specific organizational needs. If I were to sum up our experience in one thought, implementing an HR system is not just a technical project. It's transformation in how an organization manages its people and knowledge. Ultimately, when HR processes become simpler, clearer, and more connected, HR can focus less on administration and more on what really matters, and that is supporting people, fostering development, and contributing to the long-term growth of the company.